What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. This is Tropical Storm Bonnie. As you can see from the satellite imagery, less and less storm activity is developing over here. Let's actually go ahead and go to the final frame. Less and less storm activity is going on right here, and more storm activity is starting to concentrate at the center of circulation. So it looks like this thing's starting to develop, not really develop, but starting to get an increased amount of convection right here, and this is starting to replace the main area of such strong convection with this area. So from this area, so we'll have to pay attention to this as time goes on. We have the latest from the NHC. 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm. It is expected to strengthen into a hurricane tonight. Tropical storm force winds extend outward 70 miles from the center, and the minimum central pressure is 995 millibars. So the pressure has continued to drop. We're down to 995. So I made a video talking about hurricane categories, and I said that sometimes tropical storms could get down to 995. So yeah, here we are. But anyway, that's besides the point. It's currently located at 11.9 degrees north, 92.4 degrees west. So this is an interesting case we need to take a look at right here. We have the cone. It's expected to strengthen into a hurricane by tonight. The NHC is now expecting this to strengthen up to a Category 2 hurricane with winds of 100 miles per hour. So we will have to pay attention to that as time goes on. The conditions are still very favorable for this thing to develop. Let's take a look at the wind shear. Now, some of you may be confused because you see like these 30-knot wind shears right here and all that. But if you take a look, that's where the convection of the storm is. These tropical cyclones are known to create their own wind shear, which if you take a look right here, that's 25 knots right there. Like that's the cyclone creating that wind shear. That's not going to impact its development at all, if any at all. It will barely. If we even take a look at the satellite imagery, we can show that that's not even going to do that, because if there were that case, the satellite imagery, it would be like the storms would be all skewed up and all of that, all messed up and like all over the place, it would be like a massive angle of turning it and all of that, and that's not what's going on. This thing is creating its own wind shear, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go back to the wind shear map. This is not going to affect the storm development at all. So I wanted to make that very clear. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Pacific water temperatures right here. We're looking at 28 to 29 degrees Celsius right here, 83 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, as I've been saying over and over and over again. I know I keep saying this, but I have to emphasize this because there is plenty of warm water. The conditions are favorable for this thing to keep developing, and the NHC has this up to Category 2 strength. So that's basically the situation we're looking at right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the track models and the intensity. The track models, similar to the NHC, like they're pretty much concentrated for the first 48 hours, and they start to deviate a little bit right here. It is not expected to make landfall in Mexico at all. It's expected to stay in that warm water range right there. So, yeah, this thing could intensify at a very fast pace as time goes on. Now, speaking of intensity, we're looking at this pretty much. Virtually every model is agreeing this is going to be a hurricane. Some have it going up to Category 2 strength. We have a few going up to major hurricane status, which I will say it is possible. It's on the table, but is it likely to happen at this time? No. If this thing's likely going to stop strengthening before it reaches there. If it does reach major hurricane status, it'll probably get up to 115, maybe 120 as a max. I set a range last night. Between 90 and 120 miles per hour will be the storm's peak. The NHC has it at 100, which is in that range, so I'm going to be holding that estimate as of right now. But anyway, as I was saying, some models have it going up to Category 2 strength, so I think Category 2 is not, I wouldn't say likely to happen, but it is definitely possible to happen, and the NHC also agrees with that, as I keep saying like a broken record. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the models right here. We have new model runs coming in. We have the HMON going out 3.5 days, so we're going to go ahead and start with this one right here. The HMON, as you can see, continues to develop, organize, intensify into a hurricane. The pressure, I believe, bottoms out around, I think, if I need to take a look. Yeah, the pressure bottoms out around 978 actually. And the max winds at 850 is 104 knots. So HMON's looking at Category 2 status. However, we took a look at the intensity model. it does kind of weaken and then just re-strengthens eventually. I'm going to have to take a look at the global sea temperatures to see if it is even possible to do that at this point, if we can do that in relation to the cone. I mean, is it possible? Yes, but is it likely? I don't think so. I don't think this thing's going to get up to like whatever this thing's saying, like high-end Cat 3. I don't think it's going to be doing that this time, but we'll have to wait and see. Now and we actually have some more time going in. So this thing looks like it's re-strengthening, but we'll come back to this towards the end of the video to see if what else is updated. Now, if we take a look at the GFS right here, we're also taking a look at the CMC. The GFS has this thing developing into a hurricane, Category 2 hurricane. Has it kind of close to the Mexican coast in southern Mexico, but it's not making landfall there. And then it starts weakening, kind of slowly weakens as time goes on, and then it briefly re-strengthens, and then it dies off. So that's the GFS for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at the CMC, which is always one of our more weaker models right here. The CMC has this thing basically going up to not even cracking hurricane strength at this point, which I don't think is going to happen. I think this is going to be a hurricane, but yeah, the CMC has this at tropical storm strength. Let's go ahead and go to the HWRF, which is usually the most aggressive, but these days it's the HMON. So this is what we're looking at. It's expected to strengthen into a hurricane. The pressure is expected to bottom out at first around 971 millibars. Then it's going to start stagnating, then down to 965, then even lower than that. Like, this thing at this point, basically as time goes on, this thing's going to continue updating. So this thing bottoms out at 965 so far, and then it starts to undergo an eyewall replacement cycle, weaken down a bit, and then start re-strengthening at that point. So we will have to pay attention to those models as time goes on. Let's go ahead and go back to the HMON to see what they have updated. It looks like they have not updated anything, but I will keep you guys updated as the situation progresses. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out, helps make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. But with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Hit the red subscribe button and stay safe.